video conference there, so we don't have to send a patrol car down there to pick them up and transport them. So yes, there's going to be some savings. We don't know exactly what the expenses are going to be because the RFP was just put out, and so they don't know, who that company is going to be that's going to be installing them, and what the maintenance contract is going to be. I have asked Robin Reed to check with the jail, because when the jail was built, I remembered that it was wired for video conferencing, and she told me this morning that it was, so there shouldn't be a cost in rewiring the jail, which was one of the items in their MOU that we pick up. However, we do pick up the maintenance, and it's mentioned in there of $1,000, but again, that's strictly an estimate because the RFP hasn't gone out and they don't know what the maintenance cost is going to be. Now, whether we have to go with a maintenance company that they come up with, or if we go with our own, that's yet to be determined. But there will be a cost involved. I think it's the right way to go. That's what we planned for years ago when we built the jail. That video conferencing would take place. So that said, you've got the information, and so it'll be coming up. Yes.
Okay, Representative Fleck, Merrow, and Babson.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. On the bandwidth, there was a comment about having adequate bandwidth
Yes.
on the internet. Are we in?
That I don't know yet.
Okay, we don't know that yet. All right.
Yeah.
Merrow?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chairman. That was basically my question.
I
Can
did
you give
ask.
us the costs, what you usually now spend to send people to other areas? Do we have some kind of a figure so we'll know what the cost savings would be?
I'm sure we could probably come up with a travel.
Could you, I'd just like to see that.
Yeah. I think the sheriff could come up with a travel, or what it costs to transport, plus meals.
But my main question was the bandwidth and
Yeah,
the indication
yeah.
of the-
I don't know if Corporate Extension could make a comment about that line that's supposed to come in, if they come here, whether that would help or not. I don't understand the technology there, so I probably shouldn't
You
comment,
have
should wait.
something now, right?
Yes, we do.
Okay, Representative Babson.
That was my question, Madam Chairman, thank you. This body voted down bringing the
Fiber optics.
fiber optics here from UNH, 2 meetings ago, I guess, saying that what we had was adequate. Don't you think maybe we should find out, A, whether we can use that broadband if it's brought here, and B, if it's A, if it's adequate, and B,
I guess we did.
perhaps we should be thinking about rescinding our vote to not have it come here and have it come here?
Yes,
And I guess 3 is, do we have to work out some reimbursement and cost for, it doesn't cost us anything to have it come here from UNH if we take it on the initial go-by, but if we don't, do we have to work out some system of, if they switch it, do we now have to pay for part of it?
okay, Representative McConkey.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. We heard this in committee when it came through Public Works, and my understanding was that what they're building is a totally independent system which can only be used for this service, this being the courts. And it was my understanding at that point in time that they thought they had adequate band service at all the locations. So I think they're 2 separate discussions entirely. I believe the court system has enough bandwidth to do what they need here.
Yeah. I think one of the things that the commissioners are asking us, if you look at page 2 under, let's see, it's the successful respondent to our RFP, which has not been granted, will install video equipment in 25 courts, 7 houses of corrections depending upon your interest, and 1 state prison site. I think the question you're asking is, are we interested in doing this?
Right.
Again, we don't know the cost that it's going to be. We're going to be able to do some stuff. Do we have a feeling of the delegation that you want to be included in this program, or do you want to opt out? I would think that it would be a good thing for us to do, but they've got 7 House of Corrections and there's 10, at least 10 of them in the state. Representative Merrow and the Nunberger.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm in favor of it, but the only thing that bothers me is at the end of this, on this MOU, memorandum of understanding. If we sign that, we're committed without really
That's
knowing all
right.
the facts, am I correct?
That's right.
Well,
I'd
listen-
like to know the facts before I committed myself.
Representative Umberger.
The reason there are only 7 here is because the other 3 have already connected and are seeing the savings that have gone along with the video teleconferencing. And this was all part of the process of the court reorganization, the reducing the expenditures for the Justice Department. And I am convinced that overall, this will save money, not only for the county, but also for the inmates, because the lawyers that they have to hire, or are hired, or we hire, will not have to necessarily go to court like we think of in the past. And it's my understanding that there will be a lot of changes in how defense lawyers react. And so we have to look at it for, from both sides of the cost issue. And it's just a new technology that I believe will save on both sides of both the prosecution and the defense lawyers. And it's just, we happen to be, I heard someone complain about the 253 inmates, or however many days they had been in there. And part of this is a way to reduce that. For example, if the judge in Carroll County is busy, but the judge in Coas County isn't busy, you can video conference that court case to Coas County, or to Stratford, or to wherever. So if we are concerned about the length of time we're keeping people in jail, if we're concerned about the cost that the county is incurring for that, I think that video teleconferencing and setting it up within the House of Corrections will save us, maybe not megabucks to start with, but it will save us considerably over time. So please, please, this is just too important to ignore.
Okay. What do you want to do?
I think they ought
Make a
to.
motion.
Take a motion.
Do you think the delegation needs to be involved with this?
I just for budgeting purposes, I want to make sure you're aware of it.
Yeah.
I don't think we need a motion, I just think.
Well, I just
It's a
want the
contract.
delegation, it's a contract, and this is a memorandum of understanding. And the commissioners can sign the letter to us, but remember, we're going to have to give funding for this. I mean, it's not going to be the first year, but, if the commissioners agree to this, based on the fact that we think it's a good program, we're not going to be able to just slash the funding for teleconferencing, because otherwise it's a waste of money that the court's going to do. So I think that
I'll make the motion.
if we make a motion and that we can say that we agree to it and that we're going to agree to a minimal funding of it, then, or, if it goes up into 10,000, you're not going to want to do this, but we won't know that. And they have come across with, the estimate of about $1,000, though, we don't know that. So Representative Umberger, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, I will make the motion that we support the county entering into the MOU with to video teleconference from the House of Corrections.
I'll second.
Okay, I'm just doing a quick. Representative Umberger moves with Representative Schmidt seconding. a motion to support the county in entering an MOU with the Supreme Court and the House of Correction for video conferencing. That's the motion. You want a question, Representative Pettingill?
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Is there any, I don't see any money figures here, and I don't know how that works. And I don't know, is it an open-ended thing, or what? I mean, it just seems like when I'm reading it, it's like you'll be responsible for this, but yet there are no figures.
Yes.
Can you help me with that, Ken?
Sure. The cost for the equipment is being borne by the state.
Mhm.
Okay. But if I understand this correctly, the cost for the internet service is being borne by the county. And so we don't know what the internet service is, because as the court said, you have to have whatever the kind of internet thing, what was it?
Bandwidth, 768K.
768K. And we have been told that we already have that capability within the county jail, as I understood it. So it will simply be whatever the cost for the internet service is, and then if for some reason or other the equipment breaks, then it appears that it would become our responsibility to repair that. And on the plus side of that is the fact that the goal is to reduce the days in jail because of the ability to video teleconference around the
I
state,
understand.
and the cost of transport and all of those things that go along with it. So, and the reason that you don't see figures here is because Chief Justice Delanis and the people that are working on this have no idea what capabilities each House of Corrections currently has.
Yes. Continue. You have another question, Laura? Representative
Yeah,
Pettingill?
well, do we have two counties that are actively part of the system?
I believe it's 3.
3? And it would be nice to just get some information from them on what their costs are and what their I mean, it's a contract, that's the only thing that it's not like we're saying look into it, we're saying sign on to it.
If I could.
Yes, go ahead.
We all, as, maybe you didn't vote for the budget, but,
No, I
I
understand.
mean, it was all included in there
Mhm.
as a way to save money and not to downshift costs to the county. And everything that I have heard is that from the counties that currently do video teleconferencing, that there is significant saving. And it allows, it just allows people not to have to drive to the courthouse when they happen to live in Coas County, or, not the people being tried, but the people that are witnesses or are, some other kind of person that has to be at court. So I think this is just a win-win. And I agree that I don't know how much internet is costing right now for the county. And I don't know if there would be an additional charge, internet charge for the hooking up the jail. That's something that the commissioners are gonna have to figure out with the internet company that's supporting them. But I would imagine that they have,
I wonder if we can put not to exceed 5,000.
that we have
They estimated that.
sufficient
Yeah.
stuff here that we may or may not be using.
Not to exceed.
And there may not be a cost associated.
We do need
There's-
to know that before we
Yeah,
sign.
there's a thought with me is if perhaps what we could say is that we would like this, but not to exceed